Philadelphia. Here is what the crazy thing is. This team won a Super Bowl last year, and my feelings this morning on Friday with a nice warm cup of coffee in my fucking hand is I can't wait until this gets blown up because I'm not fucking doing this anymore. I'm not doing this anymore. I'm not going through an entire year of this. And we all know that whatever the solution is in our heads this morning is not going to be the correct one. It is not. And I'm going to start at the top with this one. Howie Roseman, what the fuck, man? Did we not learn our lessons here? Even I bought into Kevin fucking Potato not being Brian Johnson, and we're re-copying and pasting the same situation again. You let Jalen hire his friend first in 2023, and this doesn't even compare to 2023. I'm going to get to that in a second. Now you've let fucking Nick hire his best friend because he deserves a shot, and yada, 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 and it looks like you're in your 7th preseason game offensively. So, like, why was this the best path for this season? I thought the goal was to maybe do something incredible and go back-to-back here, and that is so fucking gone in 6 weeks. Like, well, that's out. You and I are saying the same thing this morning. Well, that is out. Super Bowls are out. Playoffs. Let's jam more of this shit in here. I have no idea what's going to happen after 10 days. I know everybody's going to be miserable. I know everybody's going to want to trade Jalen Hurts or fire whoever. And, like, to be honest with you, with the anti-Jalen crowd, they win this round. Fucking A, what an impressively bad game from him. I tweeted this last night. It looked like he was learning the offense for the first time last night. So I know it's not all him, but Jesus Christ, that is the first time I've ever seen Jalen Hurts checked out of a game or just going through the motions. And son of a bitch, if you're the thermostat, everyone else felt you too because everyone was done and moping around the second you didn't throw to AJ Brown wide fucking open to turn this game around. Not to mention you missed the other one with Devontae Smith, who was wide open. Oh, if it wasn't for the pressure. Jesus Christ. This is what I mean. It's why I was yelling like this after the Broncos game, because Jalen Hurts has to have some balls at some point. You can't be so goddamn passive, and that's what passive quarterback play looks like. It was embarrassing. I don't give a shit if the offensive coordinator is Roseanne Barr. You have to go out there as if you're in control, and you're not in control, Jalen. There is something fucking bugging me about this, and if it is just you and AJ, and if that's what all this is, then y'all need to cease being teammates for a while or forever. If this is what we are subjected to, I know that that is not the right call or the right move, because A.J. Brown, to me, is one of the best all time. You and I will always believe that. But if this is what it's going to produce here, I don't want it for fucking anybody. No one. I want A.J. Brown to go be happy. I want Jalen Hurts to run whatever fucking offense he wants to run. And I want somebody that can actually sustain an offense and have a system where it makes sense. And if that system doesn't fucking work, you can rely on the head coach, and look where we are. We fucking can't do that right now. Because we know even if you take play calling back to Nick Sirianni, it's going to be the same, worse, and it's not going to get better. And I've been telling you since the beginning of training camp that if we start learning the name of Eagles quarterback coach Scott Loeffler, who I'm telling you that's not how you pronounce it. It's we're going to find out soon, because that's the only guy that you can really turn to right now. If every player in that locker room, which now it seems, does not believe in Kevin fucking Potato. They don't. Don't even bother arguing that with me. No one believes in Jalen in his offensive ideas. No one believes in Nick or Kevin in their offensive ideas right now. Whatever they're bringing to the table, no one likes it. And if you don't believe that right now, that's what everyone's telling us. Lane Johnson's telling us. Everyone's just assuming it's Kevin Potato. It's all three of those guys. It is all three of those guys. If this is Jalen Hurts' team, if it is Nick Sirianni's team and Kevin Potato's team, it's mostly they three are the decision makers on what they're doing here. And I don't know what the fuck all three of those guys were preparing for this season. To look and go, man, we've got such a great offensive line and we can just literally rely on Saquon again and throw some touchdowns here and there. We'll keep everybody happy. And you know what keeps everybody happy? More Super Bowls. That's what it looks like, you dickheads. This is you assumed that you could keep doing the things that you wanted to do, even though Howie Roseman's offseason was going, hey, guys, we're broken out of money and we still got to pay people. By the way, $96 million worth of cap on A.J. Brown's contract. We can't really get around that right now. And look where we are. This team has 2 losses, and it feels like the season is fucking over. Over. And it is. In whatever capacity and expectations that we had for the Philadelphia Eagles in 2025, you can stick a fucking fork in that because it is done. They underprepared so badly. So badly. Ah, God, I'm actually fucking mad at myself for buying into like, oh, they're making an NBA-style team, and they're just going to have all these, old douchebags. And I shouldn't say that. All these older players come on in and round out the roster. And A.J. Brown and Devontae Smith and Jalen Hurts are supposed to ascend and get this team to where it wants to be, and they fucking should be. I put it on all of those guys. All of them. Everybody. Every single person. Like, I don't know what you're supposed to do defensively last night other than just, I'm not praising them by any means. They got their ass kicked. It was terrible. Makuba looks completely lost. Losing Q was horrendous last night. Probably... for any chance that game doesn't go the way it does, Q's got to be healthy. And I don't know, Vic, God bless him. There's not a lot you're not getting pressure pretty much any time that you just leave 4 guys there. And last night it was so ridiculous that when you did send pressure, the blitzes didn't even get there. Blankenship got banged up. Cooper was, dragging his ass out. And that's what pisses me off the most is because these games, all of these games that we have watched and all of the shit that the offense says after the game where, yeah, the defense really fucking helped us out, special teams, they really fucking helped us out. We got to go, win one back for them. And when the defense is dying and, Landon Dickerson and all these other different injuries and JC goes out, with very late notice, at least to the fan base, that JC was going to go be down. You're going, all right, guys, this should be pretty easy. There's literally no secondary there. I thought the Eagles' offensive line held up just fine again in pass protection, and no one had any simple answers, including Jalen Hurts, to just go score a touchdown. I know what you wanted to do, you assholes. You came in there with a game plan. You wanted to give the ball to Saquon Barkley, and you all got tingly balls once the first 2 runs went really, really well, except you forgot that Saquon's also dealing with a knee, and you can't really do that all game, and just, no killer instinct at all. And maybe you think they looked at the Giants and said, God, I can't wait to get over this fucking game just so we can have our bye week because it's terrible. You're probably right. A.J. Brown looks like he wanted to do that. So did, half of the fucking offense and half of the defense too. Like, the second Jalen threw that interception, everybody was done. They wanted to go home. It's fucking miserable in there, guys. How miserable and how let's just ask this. How the fuck and what happened? What happened in there to make this so bad? I don't really care what the answer is, but it can't be light. This doesn't seem like a petty argument that's just been lasting for a year and a half or 2.5 years. These seem like righteous gripes. And if the rumors that we were talking about earlier are true with A.J. Brown, like, that's going to collide with all this, because the worse this gets, that's just pointing and going, see, I told you so. Look at this mess. This is why I don't want to do this anymore. There is this kind of goes back to the identity thing, right? If you're Nick Sirianni right now and you're trying to define any type of identity that you've had in your career, I still can't identify it for you. People are going to say that Nick Sirianni said, we are a run-first team, and that did not happen when his career started here. There was an air raid system, essentially, which we got treated to, that then got dumbed down by Stoutland and everybody else to be like, hey, we should really do the run game here. And 6 to 7 games into Nick Sirianni's career, they said, I've had enough. We need to switch play callers, and Shane is our guy. And then they got better and went to a Super Bowl after that. Then they lost Shane. Then they got Brian Johnson. Then they went bad. Then they got Kellen Moore, who's amazing, went to a Super Bowl and won it, and now they've got Potato. And guess what happened there? There's no identity because Nick can't give it one. You've got to be an elite-style CEO coach of something. At least Harbaugh had special teams, and Tomlin had defense at some point in their careers, which they held on to for dear life. Those are the identities of their teams. They're long gone now, by the way. Both the Steelers, we know their story. Jesus, the Ravens, like, you know what I mean? You're relying so heavily on your coordinators, on other people to run their shit. And this team, since Nick Sirianni has been head coach, has not had a consistent identity or scheme or this is what we're doing. It is always Howie Roseman going to get better players and then better coaches and then forming it into what we saw last year. And that doesn't exist here. Could you fucking imagine again if Vic Fangio didn't hang around what this team would look like? You're going to jump over 2023. I mentioned that up front. This is even fucking close to that. This is 2015 because Jamie pointed that out on Twitter last night, and I couldn't agree more. Go back to all of your Chip Kelly hate. Go back to all of it because that is how predictable this team is right now. All of it. Outside of Jeffrey Lurie walking into that locker room and handing out 53 Angry Men t-shirts, that is what we are facing right now as a fan base. What are we going to do and who's the most important? That's what this season has turned into. It sucks. I don't know where to put Howie Roseman in this situation, but it's the same fucking thing. And how do you kill people for winning the Super Bowl last year? Well, you do something like this. This just looks like they just told themselves we're going to be fine. We're going to be fine, and we're not going to invest heavily in an offensive mind. We're not going to invest heavily in any CB2 for some reason, not even Isaiah Rodgers, not even like none of that, because Vic can handle it or Stout can find a guy. You know what I mean? It's just everyone from top down relies so much on other people's ideas that are not their own that you're always going to be doing this. And it's what sucks is we were sold on consistency, so hard. Consistency, at least consistent at fucking what? What does Kevin Potato run? What does he like to do? They like to get the ball out quick. They like to run comebacks. And thank God that they like to use the tight end. They just don't like to use their fucking number one wide receiver somehow. The Giants and Broncos run the same basic defense. You had and the Giants are so much worse. They let you have man coverage pretty much all fucking night. So if you have any other optimistic answers on we're overreaching here, I'm all ears to you. Since we're feeling good and since I'm mad, I would just like to point out how bad Wawa has taken a dive. I am enjoying the New England coffee from the Shell gas station. That is $1, and it is piping hot. It is strong coffee. And the gas is 7 cents cheaper. So fuck Wawa too while I'm at it. You're not Super Bowl champions either. Jesus Christ. I still think the Saquon turkey sandwich is what did us in. First the Madden cover, then that. Now we got to sort through all this bullshit. And you know what? Fuck it. Here's my fear. We're all wrong about Jalen Hurts. if that becomes something that everybody starts to peek into, leash. Because, like, there's one thing if we're wrong on that. I think we'll eventually accept it. Because, it's easy. What else are you supposed to do? You want a Super Bowl MVP, yada, yada, yada. But if we find out the reason that A.J. Brown wants to leave is because of something that Jalen Hurts did, and Jalen Hurts doesn't rise up to, across the board, top 5 quarterback, we're going to be so regretfully mad in a couple of years because of it. Why did A.J. Brown leave? Oh, because they stuck with Jalen Hurts. Why did they stick with Jalen Hurts? Well, because the owner thought it was this or that and wasn't like football related. That would drive us nuts. So I hope that's not what's happening here. I don't think it is, personally. I don't think it is. But I've got to at least admit that is something that is being talked about in that locker room. Because Devontae he looks just as mad about this situation as AJ does. And I don't know if that's directed at Jalen, but, with AJ, we know it is. We know it is. And if you're trying to establish this fake Patriot way, and this is how we do things now, and it looks like this, everyone is getting out of Dodge. Everyone. And we all know what that feels and looks like, even though I'm not suggesting that Nick Sirianni is Chip Kelly or Kotite or the end of Andy Reid. Like, you just know and feel these things. Like, this was lucky to stay together in 2024 and win a Super Bowl. Whatever the stories come out from 2023 until now will be so interesting. But until then, this is just right back to, like, whatever this is, it needs to end. And I am so thankful for what this Eagles run is and was. I don't think it's coming back. If I'm so wrong about this, then great. Then what a week to reflect for every single Eagles fan, because we will know exactly how we're feeling, that there's no way this team is going back to one. And I don't think they look like a playoff team at all. They look like a team that is willing to tank and just call it a day from the attitudes of everybody last night. So that's my takes. I'm sorry if you're a Phillies fan. I really am. That's just like, what a fucking night for you. Jesus Christ. The only thing that saved my night was the Cubs. And what's up, Jerry? But I'm sure I'll be joining you on the baseball bench soon, because who knows? Who knows? Nobody's lost at home yet. And just know that no matter what, I love talking to you. I love seeing you in the Discord. I love seeing you at the bar. We're going to get through this. We're going to have some happy times. Just not going to be for another 10 days or so. Go Birds, yo.